I made a claim that One Piece is less predictable than Naruto, and I have 9 plot twists, 9 things that caught me off guard with One Piece. It could be a lot more than 9 that I'm just not remembering, but I'm curious if y'all saw some of them coming, none of them coming, or all of them coming, so let's go ahead and jump into it. 1. Blackbeard turning into the villain he did today. So if I remember correctly, this caught me off guard only because it was such a casual introduction for a villain. I was not used to that fresh off Naruto and Dragon Ball Z. Plus, Blackbeard was this basic looking person and nothing made him stand out to me besides the fact that he looked gross. When I mentioned this before, a lot of people were like, oh, I knew Blackbeard was a villain. It was so obvious. But I don't think anyone knew that Ace and Whitebeard would lose to the likes of him. 2. Skypiea really existing. Now everyone was so convinced that it didn't exist that I started doubting whether or not it existed. And I mean, Luffy was getting roasted for this. Everyone was laughing at Luffy. They weren't even bothering to hide it. So to find out that it did exist was a pretty nice twist. Number 3, Ace still getting snuffed out after all that effort. This one caught me off guard because, like I said, it seemed like a lot of effort put in to save him just for it to go to waste. Granted, Ace kind of did it to himself because he was warned not to pursue Blackbeard, and then he had an opportunity to leave when Luffy finally freed him, but Ace still decided to fumble that opportunity as well. Number 4, the truth behind Punk Hazard's environment. Now this probably doesn't really count as a plot twist, but it does count as something that caught me off guard. I think either or is fair game in this video. Anyway, I obviously knew the environment wasn't a natural one, but to see a whole island or whatever change this drastically from a fight really blew my mind. And I guess what kind of got to me above all was the fact that the conditions from the fight kind of stayed on that island permanently. So that was a pretty major fight. Number 5, the minks really having Rizo. Now y'all can say what y'all want about me not catching on a Blackbeard being as big of a problem as he was, but if I have everyone tell me that they knew the minks were lying the whole time, I'm gonna think y'all lying, like no offense. Like the whole thing I was explaining behind Skypiea, it's the same thing that happened here. Because like everyone was so convincing that they didn't have Rizo that I was convinced that they didn't have Rizo. The minks or ride or die, they're definitely my type of people. Luffy needs a mink on his crew, like especially if they're that loyal. I feel like Luffy could really benefit from a mink. Number 6, I didn't expect Sanji to be a Vinsmoker. Like I didn't expect his family ties to be that intense. Now, part of me likes his family ties because it adds more depth to Sanji's character, it gives us a lot more background, and I'm always a fan of development and more information. But on the other hand, I wouldn't have minded if Sanji didn't really have all that family drama. Because without all of that, Sanji kind of felt more like a normal person. Like I don't know how to explain it. Either way, since we do have a little bit more information on Sanji's family situation, it would be good to see more of Sanji period. I know oftentimes he's compared to Zoro a lot, so I personally think that makes him stand out a little bit more, but like I said, I wouldn't have minded either way. Now as for number 7, I will admit, this one probably shouldn't have caught me off guard now that I'm thinking about it, but since we're on the topic of families, Luffy's family kind of caught me off guard as well. Like just a little bit, just like it was a surprise or whatever. With Luffy having ties to Garp and Luffy having ties to Dragon, Luffy is definitely connected to some powerful people, but it shouldn't be all that surprising because he is the MC. Number 8, just like with the whole Minx thing, I feel like this caught some people off guard too, at least a good bit of people. The whole Kanjuro thing and Kanjuro's betrayal. I just never picked up on the fact that Kanjuro was a spy from the beginning. Which is probably the whole point, because you don't want it to be obvious that you're a spy, or you don't want it to be obvious that a character is a spy. I hope y'all don't judge me too much for this, but if anyone was to betray someone, I thought it would be Law betraying Luffy. I never thought it would be Kanjuro or one of the samurai. I mean, can you blame me? Because if you think about it, samurai are supposed to be loyal, they're supposed to be upstanding, they have this high moral compass, this high moral code. That one just caught me altogether. Finally, number 9. Luffy's devil fruit. This caught me off guard the most because I did not expect Luffy to basically have a mythical zone type devil fruit. I also didn't expect Luffy to be connected to the sun god Nika. But if you think about it, it makes sense. And this is why I say Oda has really superior writing. Like I know I hype Oda a lot, but Oda knows what he's doing. And I read somewhere that Nika's legend mirrors Luffy's character of liberating people from suffering, and it shows Luffy's emphasis on freedom and his refusal to let others suffer. And I think that's beautifully written, and it makes me love Luffy even more. Now, I'd be lying to y'all if I didn't admit that fifth gear caught me off guard, because it did. It wasn't a transformation I was expecting, but now knowing the writing behind it and how well it meshes with Luffy's character, I think it's a great transformation. I like it a lot. But anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. Y'all let me know how y'all feel. I try to keep this as short as possible, and try your best to be respectful and not shame others in the comments if you feel like they didn't catch on to something that they should have, because I probably didn't catch on to something that I should have. I want this to be a safe space for everyone. Thank y'all for the love, support, subscriptions. Thank y'all for everything. Thank you for tuning in. Sierra Nova is out.